going on, Jerome, homies? So the Minnesota Vikings had quite a sea change along the, defensive line, right? So the Vikings moved to a 3-4 a couple seasons ago, and yes, generally you do include the stand-up outside linebackers, the edge rushers in your D-line calculation, even though generally got 3 down defensive linemen. Anyways, but either way, the Vikings had some significant changes. Danielle Hunter, I'll love you forever, but he went home to the Houston Texans, and the Vikings basically pulled off a swappy swap as they brought aboard Jonathan Grenard, as well as the rest of the coterie, former Houston Texans defenders. But John Grenard coming off a career season, looking to expand even further here in the great state of Minnesota, and of course, Diamond Dallas Turner. That's right. The pride of Alabama, first-round pick, going to get things done. Potentially going to be one of the best young speed rushers in the game very quickly. But the rest of the Vikings D-line, we've talked about needing the meats, and it's sort of up in the air right now. A long story longer, Pro Football Focus, general frenemy of the Vikings, they decided to just poo-poo on the Vikings defensive line prospects because that's what they do. So they did up a ranking of all 32 teams' defensive lines, and the Vikings, not too good. Not too good. So Jets 1, respect. Niners 2, Eagles 3, whatever. Lions 4? Sure. Browns 5. But of course, down in an earlier round. Sugar, we're going down swinging. I'll be your number, third to the last in the league. Whatever. So here, Vikings checking in at 30, third worst in the. Who's worse? Cardinals and the Broncos. I mean, Darius Robinson is pretty damn good. Yeah, but the Broncos. Yeah, I get it. Anyways, but the Vikings at 30. The Vikings off-season free agency swap of Danielle Hunter for Jonathan Grenard was likely a downgrade. Even if they got younger and cheap. Well, so here's the thing. Again, I'll love Danielle Hunter to death, even though he does turn 30 in October. His contract with the Texans is sizable. Would have gotten something similar here with the Vikings. Probably even more when you factor in state taxes. But here's the thing. So for the price of a soon-to-be 30-year-old Danielle Hunter, the Vikings signed Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, and also they drafted Diamond Dallas Turner. So I'll take the youth. I'll take the youth movement. And again, Danielle adapted very nicely to becoming a stand-up outside linebacker over the last 2 years. That's not his game. It's not his game. Like, his best position will always be hand in the dirt 4-3 defensive end on the close side of the field. That's what it's going to be. And with Grenard and Van Ginkel and Turner, they're stand-up guys. All right, so stylistically, schematically, they're better fits. They're younger, and in aggregate, they are cheaper. So I'll take that. But PFF doesn't understand that. Blah, blah, blah. Andrew Van Ginkel earned a 91.1 PFF overall grade last season, but that was a massive outlier in a career that's typically seen him post grades in the 60s and 70s. Oh, so that's convenient. Oh, so a guy has a career year, is like, probably can't repeat that. Even though he's reuniting with Brian Flores. Rookie Dallas Turner will have high expectations, but the interior of this line is a weakness. Oh, so that's what's dragging it down. Because I believe in the edge, but of course they're talking about the interior is very poop at. But I simply don't believe them. That's where we're currently at, man. But we talked about the edge at length. Grenard, AVG, Dallas Turner, blah, 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 right? So the Vikings should and could be good to go there. But interior, so yes, I mean, the interior is lacking that 350-pound nose tackle that I have been coveting all offseason. And the Vikings, they did make a play for Christian Wilkins. Maybe it was a half-hearted play. Maybe they weren't going to come up with the funds like the Raiders were. It is what it is, but Harrison Phillips is frankly coming off a career season. Jonathan Bullard is great at stopping the run, and then you have dart throws like Jerry Tillery, Jonah Williams, Jahad Ward, etc. And also, you're hopefully expecting a lot more out of Jaquelin Roy in year 2. Jumping James Lynch, coming off his ACL, is expected to play a significant role. And then you got LDR and company, Jalen Redmond, UFL superstar. So, I mean, there are pieces there. There is a potential there along the defensive line, and it could be a spot where new defensive line coach Marcus Dixon finds some sort of combination where the Vikings are able to, in aggregate, get a very productive defensive line from a number of pieces. Now, do I expect any of these guys besides Phillips to really step up and be a nail driver? Remains to be seen. But I do think that the Vikings, defensive line, if you include the edge, has enough firepower to be very impactful in the 2024 season. Now, again, I understand PFF's bag here, and they're just really down on the interior, but also just completely discounting the fact that guys like Grenard, guys like AVG had high PFF grades last year. It's like, oh, it was just 1 year. And also, I mean, PFF College loved Diamond Dallas Turner, but all of a sudden he's coming as like, oh, he's not as good as Danielle Hunter, please. Again, like we said, you're essentially swapping out Danielle Hunter, who is older and more expensive, for 3 dudes who are going to bring the heat. So I'm perfectly fine with that. But down here in the bottom 3, I mean, the Panthers lost Brian Burns, and even though they still have Brown, it's like whatever. Falcons, Bears. It's kind of interesting that the Bears are down here even with Sweat, because everyone else, maybe not so much. Jacksonville, Miami, they lost Wilkins, sure, but I don't know. But either way, like bottom 3, that's a tough pill to swallow. But again, it's early, it's off season. There's a lot of ways to go from training camp and into the regular season, and it's okay. Just proving all the haters and the losers wrong, and all of a sudden we are going to get back to having the meets. Brian Flores is going to do the damn thing, and we'll be good to go. So there you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. PFF ranks the Vikings as the third worst defensive line in the league. Yeah. Okay. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.